Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Charlton Chronicles. After our fantastic win yesterday against Blackburn Rovers, as you can see tonight, we're joined again by the lovely Callum. Our Tom, Tyler is back. We will catch up with Tyler in a minute. But as you can see in the bottom right corner of your screen, we've got Paul, aka Liam Gallagher Davenport, who is currently live from Wembley Stadium. Paul, give everyone a little flash of the view. You got to get up and turn around, Paul. Yeah, you got to give everyone a bit of the view. So Paul's got the very back row at Wembley. Blimey, they're going to look a bit small from up there.
Binoculars.
He just wanted to say hello. So Paul, you can go now if you like, love.
Enjoy the gig, mate.
Enjoy.
My connection's going. All I was going to say was that it's quite appropriate that it's sort of champagne soothing over football yesterday. Appropriate that I'm going to watch it later, so I don't know if you heard that, but...
Yeah, we heard it. Have a good one, mate. Don't get too drunk.
That was derided at Oasis.
Look at you. He makes me laugh. Tyler, I'll come to you first. Look at old Liam Gallagher in the bottom corner. He makes me laugh.
There we go.
Well, welcome. That's a fun start to the evening. I needed that laugh. Tyler, welcome back, mate. It's really good to have you back. How was Miami?
Yeah, good to be back. Miami was unreal. Yeah, definitely one to remember. 3 years in the making, all the uni lots playing in it, and it definitely delivered. It was definitely something exploring the streets of Florida and that nice and sunny. Well, I say nice and sunny. It pissed it down most of the time, but still the humidity there was ridiculous. But yeah, unbelievable all of the memories made, and still managed to keep up with all the going ons here. And good to be back on after so long away. Yeah,
we did see you in your Charlton shirt out there. Proper dedication. Yep. That is wearing that material in the heat.
3 hours sleep watching the Millwall game. That was waking up 7:30 in the morning kickoff Miami time. That was on. So
you probably wasn't very pleased with Kane getting sent off then, I'd imagine.
No.
We've forgiven him now, Tyler. It's fine. Yeah. Callum, I'll come back to you. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again tonight. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good. And Tom, last but not least, of course, how are we? Welcome back as well, because you wasn't on the last one.
Yes, I am. I'm good. Obviously, two Charlton teams, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets this weekend. Can't really complain too much. Up to second for the women. Up to 7th for the men.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is absolutely a great weekend to be a Charlton fan. Hopefully, we can continue that into Tuesday.
Absolutely. Paul's come back in again. I don't know what he's doing.
He said he was trying to rejoin on the chat.
He's gone again. I don't know what he's doing. He's had too many Stellas, I think.
We'll let him join again.
We'll say good evening to a few people in the chat. So Charlie's in there first. So best we've played for ages. Blackburn. Did Kaminsky have a meaningful save to make? Ramsey will have to wait to come back at the moment. Coventry could play Premiership, was my man of the match. We will obviously talk about the players. There were some fantastic performances there yesterday. Rob's in there next. Good evening. He said, don't want to get too carried away, but apart from some of our strikers not scoring, we are looking really good. Good evening to Tracy. Good evening to Chris. Chris has said, welcome back, Tyler, as well, and hope you had a really nice time. Good evening to Tommy. Said, hope we're all well, up the addicts. And then he said, welcome everyone to a really super Sunday. Good evening to Jack. Good evening to Glenny Boy. Good evening to Herbert. Herbert said, I hate that I'm saying this, but I'm now way too confident about this season. Playoff win again.
We can't, can we?
That's a bit too early to be saying that. Any games. And then Mark's getting carried away as well. Good evening, everyone. What performance yesterday? The Reds are going up and nobody is convincing me otherwise. And then put Signal in Wembley. What's his secret?
I know. That's wild.
He refused to lose his network.
Yeah, and then Herbert's put, don't worry, Paul, you'll be back there in May. Good evening to Ian and to James. Good evening to Charlton Forever. Good evening to Tom. Oh, There's so many people in here tonight. Good evening to Chris. And welcome back, Tyler. If we stop winning, you better be on the first flight back to Miami. He was there yesterday, so it's fine. Good evening to DJ L2701, I think that is, who said we were quality. Good evening to Matthew, who said that performance was long coming. That will be the standards from now on. Good evening to Lewis, who said what a victory yesterday at the Addicts. Stuart has said playoffs, anyone? And good evening to Michael.
Paul's in there as well.
Paul is in there as well. Connection of dead loss. That was truly champagne supernova football.
Yes.
Boom, boom. So, Tyler, I'll come to you first, as we've not had you on for a little while. Give me your overall thoughts on that fantastic performance yesterday.
Loved every second of it. Loved every second of it. Really, really good performance again. How we've played really this whole season. Again, another competitive game, and to my absolute shock, we scored more than a goal in a game, which going into the game, I didn't think we was capable of doing. But yeah, very, very good overall. It was a shame to see Josh come off with an injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. And I was a bit worried when he did come off, but I was rest assured when Gillespie came on and pretty much scored probably his first touch of the game. Delighted for Gillespie as well to get involved as well and get a goal. The first half was fairly uneventful, if we're being totally honest. I don't think either team really tested each other. We were kind of just working each other out, I suppose, but we did well to get the goal in the first half. And then second half, we just completely bossed them. Blackburn didn't really look like scoring. Kaminsky had nothing to do again, really. When Burke missed that shot in the first half off that shot from Dockett, I was sitting there thinking we're never going to score more than a goal in a game all season. And then Sonny Kerry instantly shut me up with an absolute corker of a strike. What a goal. I didn't realise watching it back he was that far out. It was an absolute unbelievable strike from him, and love that ginger bastard. Honestly, I do. Absolutely fantastic player. And then Bree to get that, the third one. So yeah, delightful performance. Blackburn didn't give him a sniff all afternoon, really. And yeah, up to 7th. Let's not get too carried away, but we can't, can we?
We can't, no. No, some really great stuff there, Tyler. I agree with most of that. And I do agree with that sexy ginger bastard. Yeah, what a guy. What a guy. But we will talk more about Sonny Kerry. Callum, I'll come to you next. I think Tyler's made some really good points there about the performance. But is there anything you really want to... I know you're very good with your analytics. Is there anything you really want to pull out of that performance yesterday?
Coventry. I know I said before he was my favourite player on last time I was on, but I think that was... I said it on my own pod earlier today, which was, if you want to know how to play as a number 6 in a championship game, just watch that tape. He was controlled possession, won the ball, man-marked Todd Cantwell, ran up and down, left and right. At the end of the game, he was sprinting to celebrate the third goal going in. And I was thinking to myself, I'm knackered watching you. But yeah, I mean, that's my main thing. I mean, I saw a comment, and I can't remember who it was now, earlier today, and it kind of cracked me up. But I thought it was quite a good thought experiment, which was our highest paid player is our goalkeeper. And quite frankly, after 7 games, someone was saying if you didn't know from his time at Luton and Blackburn, nobody knows if he's a good goalkeeper or not, because he's just not faced anything. He's got the most clean sheets in the league. He's probably earned a 10% bonus for each clean sheet. So $8,000 off of facing 2 shots on target in those 4 games. So it's one of those things where it's like defensively we're just really hard to play through, and that midfield 3. So I hate to use Nathan Jonesism, but they're so athletic that you just can't get around it. The ball doesn't go. So, I think in terms of that, I think we can have a conversation. I'm sure we will about the forwards later on. But I was reading some comments about Tyrese Campbell I actually disagreed with. I actually thought he was pretty good yesterday. But I'm sure there'll be some conversations later. But I thought that the main thing that I saw was actually how we kind of kept Blackburn so narrow. And that's the main sort of formation thing I sort of took away from it was we kept them really boxed in, and then when we attacked, we sort of spread the ball out, and we basically made it the same as we did against Sheffield United, where we went, Hamer can't beat. If Hamer doesn't beat us, we won't let him beat us. We'll find a way to make somebody else do it, and they couldn't. Same yesterday, we weren't going to let Cantwell beat us, and nobody else with Blackburn could do it either. So. That's sort of where I stand. I imagine we'll do something really similar to Lewis Travis on Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely. Tom, I want to come to you about someone who Tyler's actually pointed out there, Macaulay Gillespie. Like, I mean, I was gutted to see Joshy go off. I think, like, he looked quite bad, and I was like, oh, no, what are they going to do? And I knew, obviously, Amari could switch to left back if he needed to, or left wing back, and pop Macca in there. And, obviously, that was the change that obviously happened. But, wow, do you know what? I honestly think as soon as Macca come on, we looked a different unit. We looked like a different force with Macca on the pitch. You know, considering he's had very limited minutes this season, he came on, he just looked like he'd been playing there all this season. You know, what did you make of him when he came on yesterday?
I think we know what we're going to get from Macca, to be fair. He has been very unlucky, obviously, with Bell coming in, because Bell has been he's been immense. Obviously, Josh gone off, it wasn't ideal. I knew he was going to go off because the way he was running over to take the throw, his ankle was killing him, and as soon as he went down, is what it is. But I also think Lloyd felt more comfortable as well with him next to him as well, because he's so used to him being that side of him. I also think that's why Tari's played a bit better, because he knows what ball Macca's going to play. He knows what ball he's going to play every single time, and he picked Kelman out, I think, once or twice. He could have done better, yes, but Macca, he's got, I think, 7 or 8 goals now for us, which is more than he got for Plymouth in his whole time there. So Jones has obviously got the best out of him, and he's got the system he plays him in is perfect for him as well, because his long ball can split open a defense instantly. And I mean, as we know, he can take set pieces as well, which I can't remember many centre backs who can take free kicks and actually score them as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with him. Obviously, he's had to be patient. But I think now that Josh is probably not going to play Tuesday at all, that gives him the rifle spot to start.
Yeah, and I actually think we have a real selection issue in defence, if I'm being honest. I feel like we've got some really fantastic choices there. And I feel like every choice we have, you know, in defence could be a starter as well. I don't think we've got any poor players in that back line at all. So, Tyler, I'll come to you. Let's talk about, obviously, you know, we'll say the starting back three. So, obviously, Amari Bell, Lloyd Jones, Reece Burke. You know, Burke has been someone who's massively impressed me since he stepped in the last 2 games. We won't talk about that abysmal miss. I think he thought he was clearing it rather than trying to shoot it. But that defence, they've just been outstanding, haven't they?
Yeah, very hard to beat, to be honest. I think besides the disaster at QPR, I think they've looked pretty much, you know, 9 out of 10 pretty much most game weeks. You know, Amari Bell's been a godsend. I think we all kind of scoffed that, thinking, yeah, he's going to be a squad player when he first come in, and Jesus, he's keeping Macca out of that team and some. You know, he's been absolutely phenomenal. I actually said in the Oak after the game, I actually had Lloydie as my man of the match yesterday. I felt he just completely bossed their forward line. Cantwell, Ahashi, even Maktar Gay when he come on, and he's a massive, massive player as well when they brought him on. Jones completely bossed him when he come on. Completely, absolutely bossed their entire front line. I felt it was another textbook performance from Lloydie. And then Burke, that was the first time seeing him for me since Dartford in pre-season. Obviously struggled with injury. I was actually quite happy that Jones kept Burke in the team over Ramsey, considering that he played so well against Sheffield United. I felt that Ramsey's been phenomenal. There's no question about it. He's been one of our, if not best players. But obviously, the Millwall red card was a massive mistake, and I think he deserved to be called out for that. You know, and he admitted it himself, and he's apologised. And obviously, forgiven is probably a strong word, because, you know, he still cost us 3 points against them. But I think Burke took his chance massively against Sheffield United, and you could definitely argue that it would have been harsh for Burke to come out of the squad off the back of that performance. And he played again, and besides the miss, probably the worst player we could have for the ball to fall to be honest, to miss that chance. But he again showed why Jones signed him and why he was at Luton and why he was playing at a high level in the Championship and in the Premier League. You know, he looked assured in this team, like he'd been playing there for ages, and he was absolutely fantastic. And he's definitely making a case to play regularly in the team. That is, if he can stay fit, because obviously we know fitness is a massive problem for him. But yeah, I think besides fitness at the moment with the 2 games he's playing, he's making Ramsey's going to have to work hard to get that place back, because I think Ramsey's now learned that he ain't untouchable in the squad, because Burke's there to do a job, and he's proved that the last few games. Really, really impressed by him. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to me now, as I've just said. I think even if we get injuries, I think we have got players there that can fill in, and it's not like it weakens us. I think we still stay as strong. Like Marcus put in the chat, it's an embarrassment of riches at the back. We bought on Macca and Ramsey, who would start for a lot of other teams in this league. The way Bell played at left wing back too, Luton fans said his legs were gone. I don't think he played at left wing back, did he?
He did a few times.
Oh, he did. And then Matthews put in the chat, everyone brilliant, but Macca, my man in the match, because he changed the game with Bree, a close second with a goal and assist yesterday, proper wing back performance. So from that, Callum, I'll come on to you to talk about James Bree. Now, what an impact this guy has had in 2 games for us. You know, like someone said, a goal and an assist yesterday. Did he get an assist yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So
And an assist. Yeah, and an assist, obviously, last week as well. So what an impact this guy's had for us, and how impressed have you been with him?
Yeah, very. I mean, the loan to January was really weird until you remember that it sounds like Facundo will join on a free. But I was thinking about this, and I remember because James himself, I think, has already said that, you know, I wanted it to be a permanent move. I want to stay. He doesn't want to go back to Southampton. I don't think it worked out particularly well for him. He's with a manager he knows, who trusts him. He knows the system inside and out. But I think one of the things we haven't talked about with Bree is actually, as much as I like Coventry, the guy cannot take a free kick. So having someone in there who can take a free kick is an absolute godsend.
Yeah.
You know, and I can say that about Connor because I'm so incredibly effusive with my praise, shall we say, normally. But the guy can't take a free kick.
You're a fanboy.
I'm a fanboy. I'm a fanboy. But the guy cannot take a free kick, and he can't take a corner. Well, I say he can't take a corner. He took the one against Watford, didn't he? But he definitely can't take a free kick, and he can't take a free kick from the angle that Bree did on Saturday. It's a really interesting conundrum because you get to the 6 months and you can kind of go to Bree. Basically, you can sign a pre-contract agreement with us anyway, and then you go to Southampton and go, if he's going to sign a pre-contract here, you might as well just give him to us for, you know, next to nothing. And he can play centre back, so it's the sort of thing where it's like he's really quite useful. And if you're going to bring a player like Facundo in, which it sounds like they're almost certainly going to, he doesn't speak a word of English, which one sort of brings up the absolutely hilarious thought of Nathan Jones shouting at him and looking at him like he has no idea what he's going on about. But, you know, which is just a great mental image that someone told me at the game yesterday. I thought that is great. I'm bringing that with me. But it actually allows him to come and settle. So even if you just go, yeah, I like Bree, he's playing well, you allow someone like that to come in and settle and not have to have the pressure of playing straight away. So I think that, you know, defensively he's been good. The dead balls are really, really important. But I think the thing with him is that he just knows the system, and him and Burke know each other. I think Nathan was saying after the game, like Bree's friends with a lot of these guys, and you realise what he's saying. Yeah, he's friends with Bell and Burke, right? But you can see it. You see the two of them talking to each other. They're kind of constantly pointing, hey, go, come close, move out. They're telling kind of Coventry and Dock in front what to do a lot of the time, which is what you want your leaders to be doing. And I just think that they look a class above on that side. So I think there's lots of benefits to it. But basically what you would tell Bree, someone was saying, oh, I'll pay Southampton whatever they want. What a Smart Club does, you go to Bree, you just tell them, go and tell them, I'm only signing for Charlton anyway, I'm not signing a contract extension. And then we go to them and go, here, take 50 grand, or, you know, have him back for 6 months and we'll take him back on a free, you know. So we've got to be, I think, a little bit cutthroat here. You know, yeah, we have plenty of money. Thanks, SC7 partners, but let's not, you know, sort of spaff money up the wall. I think when Brenner was there, he was sort of saying, look, there will be money in January, but we've got to be sensible about it. Well, you know, if there's money's going to be there for Quada and getting Bree on a permanent, fine, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think, you know, if Bree carries on playing the way he is, he's going to be keeping Kane Ramsey potentially out the side if him and Burke are both playing well. But as Tyler, I think, has said, you know, Burke is injury prone. So, you know, there's always that possibility. But at the moment, what a player he's looking, you know. Marcus put in the chat as well, Bree has this almost Beckham-esque flat and pacey delivery, which players like Jones, Burt, Lieber, Maka will love. Set pieces will be a huge weapon for us this year. And I think I'm with you, Callum, as well. You know, Connor, even his corners, I don't like to criticise Connor too much because I was a massive Connor hater last year, as everyone knows. And I'm trying to be, you know...
His set pieces are dreadful. It doesn't matter whether you're a fan or not. His set pieces are terrible. They're floaty. They've got no pace on them.
Yeah, his corners are they're becoming very one-dimensional, and they only ever go for Lloyd Jones at the back post, and it's becoming a bit too readable, isn't it? And it's very samey week in, week out, and teams are just getting it now, and it's not working. So I think to have Bree on those set pieces is going to be much better for us going forward, especially with the aerial threat that we do carry. So Tyler, I'll come back to you. I mean, Callum's obviously spoke about Connor Coventry there. I don't think we really need to speak about Connor because it was an incredible performance from him. But like we say on here, he is Mr. Consistent. You know, we can big him up as much as we want. He isn't impressive player, but what he does is the simple things, and that alone is impressive. You know, he doesn't stand out because he does, as Nathan would say, he does the basics right.
Yep.
I had to get that in. Sorry, Nathan.
Was he the best version of himself?
Yeah, he's the best version of himself, yeah. But one player who I do really want to praise, and I did it last week because I thought he had a fantastic game, and I want to do it again because, again, yesterday I thought he was a potential for man of the match was Doc. Yep. Now, someone who I've seen make a massive leap in improvement in just the last 2 games alone. Before that, I wasn't really seeing what I wanted from him. I didn't really I think I spoke to like the team and I was like, I don't really get what his position is, what his role is in the team. Like, is it to drive us forward? Is it to help us defend? I was a bit confused by him, if I'm being completely honest. But he's really turned my opinion round on him. And I think he's looking more and more like a championship player, sort of match by match. So what do you make of his performance yesterday?
Yeah, I think I echo exactly what you've said there. I think from the first game of the season against Watford, I think we were watching that. And it was a good performance against Watford, but we looked at that whole team and we looked at Doc especially, and we were sat there thinking, maybe he's perhaps one to look at in terms of losing his spot in the team. You know, we questioned whether, you know, the step up to the championship, I mean, he's obviously played in the championship before, but whether it was, I guess, a bit of a step too far for him now in his career. And then I think, to be honest, from the Leicester game onwards, where he was fantastic, he's not put a foot wrong, and he's put in exactly the kind of performances we expect from a captain. I think Sheffield United, he was excellent, absolutely outstanding, middle of the park. And then yesterday was exactly the same, you know, running about, did not stop like Coventry. And I think he's done, like, he's that typical box to box, you know, he's good in the defensive aspects, but I've noticed in the past few games, especially, he starts to get forward a lot more. Yeah. And he's starting to take shots. He's got a foot like a traction engine. He can hit the ball if he wants to. And he was unlucky not to score yesterday. I think, to be honest, if it wasn't for Blackburn's keeper, it could easily have been 5 or 6, to be honest. And Doc could easily have got on the score sheet. But yeah, really happy for Doc. I never really doubted his ability, to be honest. As I said, he's, you know, championship experience, and obviously he ended last season so well. He proved a lot of people wrong in terms of, you know, a lot of people were questioning whether, is he our captain? And then he's proved us very wrong in terms of he has got that leadership, and he's got that camaraderie, and he cares about this club, which is exactly what we want from a captain. So yeah, very, very happy with Docky at the moment. And I think from the start of the season, when we were questioning the midfield, perhaps, you know, could he maybe come out for the likes of, you know, Karoy or Nibs, although that would be a bit too attacking if we've got him and Sonny in there, and Brankin Costello as well, you know, knocking on the door to perhaps replace him. But Doc is keeping them at bay at the moment, and he deserves his spot in the team sheet. You know, full props to the cap. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And it has been, like you've said there, really good to see him get forward more in the last couple of games as well, which I've been wanting to see from him, because he does have an absolute wild shot on him. He really does.
That thunder blast against Bolton, right?
Yeah.
Great goal.
Like, he has honestly got a wicked shot on him, and I do want to see him get, and Connor does as well. But the problem is with Connor, sometimes he'll end up in row Z of the stand, the other side of the pitch, but
he doesn't shoot. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the stat where it's like last season, he took one shot from outside the box the entirety of the season.
That one against Leicester, though, if that went
the one against Leicester, where did he pull that from? Do you know what I mean? It's like he has it in him, but he always looks too nervous to shoot. But have a go, because we're not scoring, apart from yesterday where we scored 3 goals, but we haven't really been scoring a lot of goals, and he has that in him. So try it more.
I was chatting to him at Wealdstone in pre-season. He was saying it's something he wanted to do more was shoot, and his dad was giving him a hard time.
Sonny Kerry yesterday proved we can score from outside the box. My word.
Yes, there he is. In fact, Tom, you can carry on holding that up because I am coming to you next to talk about the ginger Pirlo, right? There he is. Oh, Sonny Kerry. I love the man. I absolutely love the man. I said when he came in, he was going to be a brilliant. I'm sorry about the singing, everyone. I get a bit excited. I said when we signed him that I thought he was going to be a cracking player. A lot of our fans really doubted him when he signed. Why would we want to sign him? He's from Blackpool. We're stepping back, blah, blah, blah. Well, hasn't he rammed those comments down everyone's throats? Like, he has been, for me, the best player this season. I've been so thoroughly impressed by him. And that goal yesterday, we'll obviously talk about my other favourite in Mr. Tanto Alafi, who was an absolute beast when he came on yesterday, who set the goal up. But Sonny, what a player, Tom. What a player. What do you make of his performance yesterday? And man of the match performance as well.
I don't think there's much you can really say bad about the performance. It was literally a 9.9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10 performance. Everything he did went his way. And I'll admit, I was one who thought when he came in, it was going to be a squad player, because obviously I think Harvey Nibbs was on the radar at that point. So, okay, I thought Nibbs is going to come in, Kerry's going to come on for him in the game or something. But Kerry's keeping him out of the team. And he scored 2 belters back-to-back home games as well. And to those Blackpool fans who said that he could not make a step up, what are you going to say now? Because he has been our best player this season so far. I think him and Bell have been our 2 best signers the entire summer, easily, for me. But it's not just the goal, it's the way he drives the ball forward. He brings the team up so quickly, which we're not used to. And we're saying last season, that position is one area that we've been needing for such a long time. And we've got it now. And when he's at Doc, when he shoots, he's got the power in his shot is insane. Because I think I know Jones was saying don't shoot past it to Bree because Bree was open with him, but if you're in that position, you're gonna shoot, and that's one thing I think we've seen from Kerry. I think he had a shot at QPR, so he's obviously got it in his mind. If he gets to the edge of the box, he's just gonna have a pop, which is what we need. And I think he's our top goal scorer now or something like that, which is nice to see, obviously. But no, the way he does it, I mean, his link up play with Ramsey and everyone down that right side, left side is absolutely immense. And hopefully, as we can say, he turns it into more goals and more assists.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it feels, I don't know about you guys, but it feels so nice to finally have an attacking midfielder who can score goals.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I think for me, like, look, you know, I'm not Luke Berry's biggest fan, and Luke Berry did score goals last season, but I think Sonny Kerry is what Luke Berry should have been for us. And I know that might sound a bit off to some people, but I think Sonny Kerry brings much more in. I think what we were expecting from maybe Luke Berry is what we've got with Sonny Kerry. Not saying that maybe Luke Berry didn't deliver, like he scored goals, but I just think Sonny Kerry brings so much more energy. But I'm guessing that comes with age as well, being at Luke is a fair bit older. Berry.
This is probably what Berry was like 5-6 years ago or something like that. Because I mean, I've seen people hype up like 4 or 5 years ago. Berry in his prime was a different animal in the midfield. So
yeah, it's just nice to see, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, Matthew's put in the chat, Kerry, the new prime Luke Berry.
Yeah.
What else we got? Yeah, Matthew said Sonny's shot has burst the net and is still travelling. It was a belter of a shot. I must say, I saw it go in. I was like, oh my God.
I actually didn't think it went in at first, and where I was stood, I thought it hit the side net, and it's only when it bounced back out the goal, I was like, "Oh my God, he's actually scored!"
Because it was wide for about 70% of its time in the air, and then it just curved.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. If you've ever been in goal, you're getting nowhere near that.
No.
Yeah, no, it was an absolute rocket. I think it would have took the goalkeeper's hands off if he'd have got his hands on that. To be fair, Tyler, I'm going to come back to you about. I'm leaving Tyrese Campbell and Charlie Kelman to you. You're going to hate me for that, but I'm gonna come to Callum first because I really, really want to talk about Tanto Alafi.
Well, God, I get the striker question again.
Yeah, you get it, but you don't.
It's the most controversial topic.
It is. You don't necessarily get the difficult striker question. I just want to talk about him in particular because I was impressed with him last game.
Yep.
All right, he didn't score yesterday, but what a performance when he came on. And I'm not necessarily just saying him. I thought Miles was outstanding as well.
Yes.
I thought they both, the substitutes came at the right time. The impact that they both made was unbelievable. But Tanto, this guy he's on one, honestly. The hold-up play for Sonny's goal was unreal. And I just think he brings so much to this team. Like, he's the kind of player who just gets me off my feet and excites me. That is the striker that I want to see at this football club. Like, what are you making of his performances? And I have got a Tanto scarf to go here. Sorry, this is still my Chuck scarf that's here. And he signed it for me yesterday as well. So that will be taking place on my bed.
I mean, I said it to you on Wednesday. I mean, the signing for me, I didn't have I liked it. I think that when he came in, there's a lot of raw potential there. I think he was the only player I remember last season, actually, along with Rob Apter, weirdly enough, who had Kane Ramsey on toast, which did not happen at all last year. Tanto Alafi, when we were away at Stockport, absolutely gave him the runaround. And you could see Ramsey was struggling with it. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I look at it and I go, there's two sort of strains of thought, and I'm thankful that I don't have to do the TC question. Sorry, Tyler. But there's two strains of thought to it. There's one, which is he's earned a right to start on Tuesday. Yeah. I wouldn't argue if he does start on Tuesday. There's another argument that 20 minutes of him and Miles, where you've got one who comes on looking like a physical specimen in terms of he's quick, he's large, he's just he's got all the skills in the world. And then the other lad, 6'6", and is just going to be pummeling you for half an hour when you've already been running around, with TC taking you out wide and all the rest of it, you're knackered. So I think, maybe that works as he does it, for half an hour. The one thing that was interesting is Jones made the change on 60. So I think it may have been planned. And I wouldn't surprise me if he starts the same two up front and says, actually, this is working for a sub. But I think after yesterday, I think Miles also has an argument that I should be starting. Because they both caused absolute mayhem yesterday. They only brought Nibs on. It was just like you could see the Blackburn back two were just going, what on earth is going on? They were trying to sort of correct it, and one would go and the ball would come round. And you've just got everyone kind of crashing and just causing, sort of mayhem. And that's why the Bree goal kind of goes in. Lovely ball from Doc, to be fair. But I think you can make the argument he should start. You can make the argument he should be a sub. And I don't think either are wrong. I think he looks like a player that the one point I made about him is that I thought 1.8 million maybe was a bit high, but that was before I knew that we had the budget that we did. But you look at it and you go, look, if you do this for the next 6 to 8 months, right? You could triple, quadruple your money on him, no problem at all. If he looks like this and can stay fit. Just the final point, just before I hand it off, was the wonderful video of Todd Campbell on the wing trying to nutmeg Tanto. So he blocks it, and then nutmegs Todd Campbell on the way around him. And I just thought that was yesterday in a nutshell.
That was so good.
That was great.
As if you would try and nutmeg Tanto Alafi, please.
I think if he succeeded, we just knocked him over. It was one of those two. It was like, where are you going with this, Todd?
It was the fact he tried to nutmeg him, and then it got blocked, and it stayed on the pitch, and then nutmegged him.
Great.
Yeah,
along with the Macca knocking the guy into the advertising board when it changed to please gamble responsibly, which I just thought was absolutely hilarious.
Mad. Tyler, now I'm just going to comment on something Stuart's put in the chat, which is if we are going to play long, then TC and Kelman up front won't work. Now, something I just want to comment on that is we seem to be going long a lot before we did the substitutions.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, the subs we bought on, one of them is 6'7", actually, I think, Callum, not 6'6", but I think that's the second time I've had to pull you on that. He's 6'7".
No, fair enough. I trusted Google. I apologise to everybody.
Yeah, he's 6'7".
I'll close my podcast.
Yeah, that came from his mum as well. He's 6'7". Well, that's what she said anyway. But when Miles and Tanto come on, who are both probably aerially really, really good, we don't play long balls.
No.
So what on earth is going on with that front two? Because it just, for me, it isn't working. I feel really, really sorry for Charlie Kelman right now and the situation that he's in, because I think he would be much better playing with Miles. And I think that partnership with Miles would get Charlie scoring. And I think that's what we need to be doing right now, because I think once he gets one, he's going to get more. Yeah. And TC's TC. I love TC, but again, it's not working for me personally. He works hard, but he's not scoring. He's not assisting. So it gets to a point where you think, well, what is his role in this team? So what are your thoughts? Because obviously we've been ranting about it probably for a couple of weeks, and it's nice to hear your opinion, because I feel like sometimes we rant and it gets a bit boring. So hit us with your opinion. If you wanna rant, you can.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot to rant about with that front two, isn't it? It is honestly a tough one to dissect, though, because there's so many different factors that we can talk about in it and what's going wrong. But I think the general feeling is that Kelman and TC just don't work together. I think that's what we can establish. I think with TC yesterday, I actually didn't think he played too badly. I actually think he had quite a good game yesterday. I think he drove us forward. He looked to create some chances. Yes, obviously, end products is still a problem, which is what we've said, I think, countless amount of times. But I can appreciate the performance levels he's putting in, and the same for Kelman. I think he's been getting stronger every game. His press is fantastic. He works hard. It's not as if he's not trying. But I do feel bad for Kelman. I really do, because we're just not giving him the service. There's two things I've noticed really since he's come into the team in the last few games, because I think I mentioned it after the international break. You can't really use him getting up to speed as an excuse anymore. It's simply just a case of he needs to adapt to the system that we play. But the two things I've noticed is that he's not a striker that we can cross the ball in the box to, and he just latches on and scores. And the second thing is TC doesn't work with him, because TC drifts wide because he's naturally a winger. He's not a striker. He doesn't play centrally, and it's not wide in his brain to play centrally. So we kind of limit ourselves, because TC drifts wide, that we have to cross the ball in the box to Kelman, and it doesn't work. And you made the excellent point there of how we play with Leeburn and Tanto. The balls that we should be playing to TC and Kelman in terms of on the floor and running in behind, which suits Kelman to a T, we play to Leeburn and Tanto, who really we should be smashing long balls at, because Leeburn will just pummel the defences and knock the header on, and Tanto's got the pace to knock on, or vice versa. Tanto can hold the ball up really well, as proved with Kerry's goal, and Leeburn's not exactly slow either. Them two feed off each other, and that's the perfect combination. I just think that we need to be getting the ball in behind the Kelman. We need to be giving the ball more. He just isn't getting the service at the moment, and I'm not giving up on him. I heard on the train on the way to the game someone talking about the whole Richard Kone argument, and someone saying, "Oh yeah, we should have signed Kone over Kelman." And yes, in hindsight, Kone is smashing them in for QPR, but that's the thing. It's hindsight. You don't know that if we did sign Kone, we'd have the exact same problem we're having right now with Kelman. You don't know that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's football. That's just how it works. But Jones is stubborn. He's not going to change the system. Campbell is pretty much undroppable in a Jones side. He won't drop him. That's just a bar an injury, which we're hoping is not going to be the case. I don't want to see TC come out of the squad purely because of injury. But it's going to get to a point where this can't continue. We can't start games with two strikers that don't work and are not scoring goals. That's a major problem. We can't rely on Leeburn and Tanto coming off the bench as good as they are off the bench. We can't rely on that. They're going to need to start scoring goals, and they're going to need to start providing for each other. So it's just a case really of Kelman needs to adapt to the system that we play, but we also need to be feeding him the ball more. Like I said, we can't smash the ball long at him because he's not that striker, and we can't ask TC to hold the ball up a winner header, can we? Because he just gets bullied. So it's a difficult one. The way it seems like the two strike forces that we're playing at the moment, the way we're playing is switched. It should be the other way around. But for me, to be honest, I think Leeburn would work really well with Kelman. I think Tanto would work really well with Kelman. But I think the striker that would work the most with Kelman is Matty Godden, because Kelman has said himself he's an admirer of Godden. He watches his game. They're both very similar, and I think having that sort of mentor, so to speak, next to him could actually do him the world of good. And I probably would imagine that that's what Godden's already doing with Kelman. He's having chats with him, and trying to take him under his wing, so to speak. So I'd be interested to see if Godden comes in and is starting next to Kelman. But as I said, Jones won't drop TC bar an injury. So it's a difficult one. For me, overall, I think we know that Leeburn and Alafe is probably the best front two we've got at the moment. Kelman just needs to adapt to the system that we're playing, which he is doing. As I said, he's getting stronger. We're just not giving him the ball, and he just cannot establish a good partnership with TC because he drifts wide, and we're then forcing ourselves to put the ball in the box to him, and that's not his game. So it's a tough one for him, but I do hope that we can sort that out because, there's a reason we signed him. He is a great striker. He is a very good striker, and there's goals in him, and I'm confident in that. And once he gets that goal, I'm sure he'll be kicking on.
Yeah, and I think one sec, Tom. Sorry, I think the frustrating thing is, Tyler, as well, and I'm not sure if you agree with me, but it's like we paid all this money for him.
Yeah,
you've brought in a striker that doesn't necessarily fit your 3-5-2, but you've spent a lot of money on him. He's our, biggest signing. So why, if he's not scoring because he's not playing in the correct system, in my opinion, or with the correct striker? Yeah. So why did Nathan Jones sign him? And I think that's a question that has to be asked.
Yeah.
It's an
interesting question. I think, Kelman, if you actually really think about it, Kelman didn't actually receive that much championship interest. Like, he was linked with the MLS, wasn't he? I was quite surprised that QPR wanted to get rid of him, to be honest, but he was just never given that opportunity. And then we've obviously splashed the cash on him. So it does beg the question, to be fair. It is a good question to ask. Why did we bring him in if we're just going to put him in a system that he doesn't suit next to a striker that he doesn't get on with and he can't get on with and, establish a partnership with. So, yeah, that is a good question. But I suppose it's probably down to, I don't know, we knew what he could do in League One, and Jones has obviously seen something in him and I guess assumed that, I can build him into another striker. I did it with Godden. I can build him into another, a solid striker that could do it in the Championship. Kelman's still young. He's only 23, isn't he? So he's still got time to develop, and he can still, adapt, so to speak. But yeah, that is an interesting question, and I'm interested to see if Jones does end up changing that system or whatever does end up happening with Kelman. Because as I said, it's going to come a point. 3.5 million. We need to be expecting goals from him at some point, but I do also think that the expectation sometimes is a little bit too high because, he scored 27 goals last season. People expecting him, we should have 5 by this point already. But, I just feel like, we need to be a little bit realistic as well because he hasn't really done it at this level before. He's inexperienced for the Championship level and he's got a 4-year contract. He's going to be here a while. So we need to be supporting him. But at the same time, we've also got to try and play to his strengths, which we're not doing at the moment.
Yeah. Sorry, Tom, go for it.
Yeah. D just put in the chat, Kelman didn't start going properly until Christmas, really, last season.
No.
And Kone stopped at that point from last season. But what I will say is, I know you said this in recent weeks, Godden didn't start going until end of November sort of thing last season either. Alfie didn't start going until mid-October sort of thing.
Yep.
Just got to be patient with it. I know, obviously, the price tag's there, which gives him a bit more pressure, which you can see it is getting to him because I think he had a few chances to shoot yesterday, but the confidence is just not there. I was talking to some of my mates. Once he gets that one goal, he will be unstoppable. I think then the goals will start to flow in a bit more. You just have to be patient. Don't get on his back because I think he's harder on himself more than anyone else is on him. Because with the price tag, as I said, I know we've had players in the past like Kirk and everything for that price tags. Just be careful with him. Obviously, don't slate him. Don't give him abuse on Twitter because that's the last thing anyone needs. But yeah, I was saying in the chat, he didn't get going until I think the mid December sort of thing. So he will get goals. He just needs, as Tyler said, I think the best one for me to put him with is probably Godden, and he's apparently not too far away. So that's a positive thing in general. So hopefully, eventually, goals will start flowing, and both of them can link up well.
Yeah, I think. Look, sorry, Callum, go for it, mate.
Can I just stick my analytics hat on? I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here. This was what I was saying to someone I promise it's not stats related. I was saying this earlier when I was doing my pod, which was, if you look at yesterday, there's two moments to me which made me a little bit concerned, and I've been very clear on the comment thing. I think you just need to give it time. When we say he can't play with TC, there was a ball that TC plays across the box. It's on the ground. It's not in the air. It's just sat there waiting for a number 9 to come and tap it home, and Cummins at the top of the box. And you're thinking, well, get on your front foot. There's another moment where Coventry plays an absolutely beautiful ball, which if he just runs round the defender rather than running into him, if he runs past him rather than running around him, he gets to easily. And my thing is, and I said this, I think there is a skill at the upper levels of playing as a striker, where in a split second you have to know what run to make and when to make it. And I think that's what he's missing. Is he doesn't necessarily at the moment, and I don't know if it's a learned skill. I wasn't a forward myself, and I'm sure there'll be people that have played striker that can make the point better, whether you can learn it. But it's that idea of, in a split second, can he make the right run at the right moment? I think at the moment, a lot of his runs aren't beating centre back, so you'll see Coventry look up, or you'll see Kerry look up, and he's not gone. And the thing is Tyrese is trying to take players with him to open the space up. He's not running into that space, and I think that's where it's all getting a little bit lost. I think, having Miles up front would help because you've got a big boy to knock the ball down to him. I think having Oluwafe up front, just someone to provide something a bit different. I think my issue with having Gordon up front with him is you have no pace whatsoever in that team if you don't put Apter at right wing back. So the thing about TC is our only pace outlet at the moment. And I think that what Nathan is trying to do, and I think I said it last time I was on here, is he wants that second striker to drop into that half space off the wing. And I think that the problem is I don't think that's Oluwafe's game naturally, because I think he's actually more of a number 9. But I don't think Nathan necessarily wants two number 9s. He actually wants someone to play that sort of second 7 position, that sort of second, I call it second 7, but that other winger. And then you'd have someone like an Apter or a Bree who's basically playing a winger as well. So it turns into a 4-3-3 when you're in attack. And so I think that's where maybe what people are thinking is a very rigid side. It's not. It's actually quite fluent, and I think that's why TC is not being dropped. It's not because he's not getting goals. It's actually unlucky not to score yesterday. One whistle past the post.
If that went in,
but that's kind of, I think, why it is what it is. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it. I think I have my own issues with certain things. Personally, I think if you have a player like Miles Leaburn, he should be playing as often as humanly possible. But I also sort of, just in terms of an asset, if I can sell him for 12 million later on, if Millwall got 10 million for Essay from Palace, right, what can I get for a 6'6" striker who can play the ball on the ground, right? But that's just my personal opinion. But I think that you've got to. I think that we sometimes need to look at it and go that I don't think Nathan's necessarily being stubborn for stubbornness sort of sake. I think he's doing it because he wants him to do a very specific role, and unfortunately, I think Kelman taps away either of those two chances that would have been there if he made the right run. We wouldn't have the same problem. So I think that to me is, from the analytics hat that I have, that's sort of where I think some of the issues are coming. Is I think people are seeing it as a very rigid system, and it's not. It's actually a 4 in the back when we go forward.
Yeah, no, I did know we went into a 4 when we went forward, but it looked more like a 4. We looked more like we went to 1 up front, and obviously we drop into wingers, but it isn't kind of working. And like you said, Kelman isn't making the correct runs, but I do think that possibly is because he's devoid of confidence. Maybe. Yeah. So I think we need to really try and get his confidence up and try and I would really like to see the Leaburn Kelman, if I'm being honest, because I think Leaburn could knock down for him. And even if he gets a little tapping, just something to give him a bit of confidence. I'm going to read through some comments in the chat because there's some really good ones in here. They've been having their own chat in here. Stuart said it's all about stumbling into a combo up front. Nathan has proved with Gas last season he's prepared to keep playing his big signing. Mark said, as much as I feel for Kelman, this is championship now. He's had more game time up to anyone else, and he's offered nothing. No real pace, can't head it, can't hold it up. It isn't working. And then Stuart said he feels that QPR have pulled our pants down with Kelman, getting their own back for Bon. Chris has said, same with Gassan, signed him but never played to his strengths, which I have commented on this pod. I do think, there is a striker in Gas. And again, it was kind of that Jayden Stockley thing where we left him on his own. Someone has agreed with what you said, Tom. Kelman had only scored about 4 goals at Christmas last year. Then he won the Golden Boot. Someone else has put experienced Championship strikers cost 10 million plus. Charlton Forever has said, get off Kelman's back, give him a chance, and I think Nathan Jones knows what he's doing. Mark has said he feels Kelman needs removing from the fire for a bit. Someone has said, bring back Josh Davison. I'm not sure about
Absolutely
that.
not. No chance.
He had great hair, but no.
There's a reason he's a trim there.
Jack has said, I think Lee Byrne and Kelman may be the way forward. Then Buddy has said, got to be Kelman and Alafi on Tuesday night. Stuart's given you a compliment. Callum has said, you talk a lot of sense.
That's the first person to say that.
You want to listen to Stuart when he's had a beer? He rambles for ages.
I do. It is a problem. Sorry, Tyler from Saturday.
So I was sloshed and all.
I actually wasn't. Buddy has said Alafi can play TC's role for him. Dan Bro has just said up the Lloyd Jones. Buddy has said Kelman and Alafi to start because Lee Byrne and TC off the bench is a threat. Buddy has said Lloyd Jones is our best centre-back, heads everything clear. Chris has said going to be very hard to keep 5 strikers happy. When Godden is back, someone will miss out. I actually think we've got some incredibly difficult selections for Nathans to make in the coming weeks. So
Fuller will just drop off the bench for that, I think.
I'm about to say, I was looking at the bench yesterday. I'm like, when was the last time we had that strong of a bench? We've got Nibs on the bench. We've got Apps on the bench. Kane Ramsey on the bench. When was the last time we had like that core of a team where you could pick anyone off the bench because it's a headache to come on the pitch?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I did actually read in the chat as well that someone said it's better than talking about when we had Jai, Simi or Kirk.
Right.
So... Yeah.
I love Kirk still.
No one loves Kirk. But
I was his last biggest fan on his.
Dear, I don't think he had any fans.
I was his fan.
He's an
when Louis Watson was the saviour.
Yeah,
when Louis Watson was our saviour.
Yeah, remember when Louis Watson was our saviour, and that was the reason we weren't winning games, is because Louis Watson wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Came in, the first thing he did was bin him off.
we found out why he wasn't playing games either.
Yeah. We're going to move on to talking about, obviously, we've got a big game coming up on Tuesday night. We are travelling up to Derby. Massive respect to our fans because we are travelling up in huge numbers. Looks like we've nearly sold it out, which is incredible support. So massive well done, everybody. So, Derby are probably not maybe in the best of form right now. It's another tough game. I mean, Derby away is a good away day. It's an away day that I always look forward to, especially of a night game. I will be a coach, I can't say that word because I don't want to swear for this one, but
Coach Massive.
Yeah, Coach Massive for this one. Buddy's asked how many we've sold. I believe we're about 2,500 at the moment, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, massive numbers.
You're banned, Tyler. Tyler's banned.
I'm not going. No, I'm not going. Don't worry.
Tyler's banned. Yeah, Tyler's banned. He can't go. But,
I'll be there if anyone wants a natter. I think I'm ending up in the Harvester because that's the only pub we're allowed in. So, but
there's a Harvester.
Yeah, there's the Harvester.
I might go in for a salad cart. I love a bit of salad.
Yeah, if anyone wants to chat, I'll be around there. Shoot me a message or whatever. And
I think I remember. I can't remember what season it was, but I got a lift to the ground from the Harvester in a police van.
Oh my God!
They walked us so far away, and I think we bumped into the police van outside the station. They asked us where to go, and they told us the Harvester. And we went in there and we come back out. It was the same van. And we was going to miss kickoff. So it was like, can you give us a lift? And he was like, yeah, go and jump in the back.
Tyler's first experience of going in a police van was the Derby away. So there you go.
We got beat as well.
No surprise. So we'll move on to our lineup. So has anyone got any... I won't go through who everyone wants in what position. Has anyone got any changes they would like to see for Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, Tom, I'll come to you first then.
I think Maka plays a left centre back, and I think Bell starts wing back, and I would like to see Lee Byrne start ahead of Kalman.
Okay, and you, Callum?
I can't see a world in which Reece Burke plays Saturday, Tuesday. So I think Ramsey will come
yeah,
in.
that as well. Yeah, Kane. Yeah,
And I wouldn't risk Burke either. I'd wrap him in cotton wool. I think that Tom's right. Maka comes in, Bell goes to left wing back. And then I agree with him. I put Liban up front. Obviously, as everyone knows, I put Upper in goal.
If Nick is watching, he's gonna love you for that. He will absolutely love you. I'm actually gonna send him this video. Tom will send him.
Someone's gonna
He'll be on TikTok. He'll be on TikTok.
Someone's gonna
we love Ash. We love Ash on the Chronicles. Tyler, have you got any changes?
Kaminsky's not one of them. Sorry, Callum.
Not for me.
Yeah, I'd protect Burke for this one, so I'd bring Ramsey in for Burke. I think, the fitness issue. I think we just got to keep an eye on him. Really, if he does start Tuesday, I wouldn't mind it because he's been playing so well. But again, we can't really risk him getting injured. So yeah, Ramsey in for Burke. Gillespie left centre back, Bell goes left wing back, and then up front, I'd like to see Liban and Tanto. Will it happen? Yeah. Probably not. But I just think I'd like to see them two start off the up and cause Derby's defence absolute havoc. But it probably won't happen. It'll be Kelman and TC probably.
Yeah, I would also start Ramsey because we know there's a certain somebody on that team who will run our defence ragged.
Well, CBT is injured.
Is he injured?
He's not
injured.
Playing.
He's not
Okay.
playing.
Ben Barrett and Diaz.
I think
He played a couple of games start the season, but he's injured again.
Okay.
I personally, I'm going to be different from all of you. I would actually like to see Rob to come back in.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I would like to see us go quite attacking, and I think we create more when he plays.
Yes.
So I would just like to see Rob come back in to maybe give him another shot. And I'd like to see Liban and Kelman, just because I'd like to see if Kelman can maybe score with Liban. I think that is the partnership that I think could get the best out of Charlie. So that is what I'm going for. So we'll see. We know Nathan will keep it exactly the same. So don't know
I think he will change Burke. I think Burke will be changed. I think that's pretty obvious. I think it'd be You've got to keep him fit. He's not going to do Saturday, Tuesday. I don't think ever.
Yeah, Bree's probably another one as well. Then again, I mean, we say Apps is good attacking there. I mean, Bree's got 1 goal, 2 assists in 2 games. You know, he's not exactly bad.
And then we lose the dead balls as well, which is an away game. So I think that's even more important than at home.
That's another headache for him on that right side.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah. You know, I think Nathan will probably, as you guys have said, it will just be rest Reece Burke. And that'll be it. So you know that if you want to do your team on Fan Hub, just change Reece Burke and that's it.
And put Maka in, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, so that's your lineup for Tuesday. So we'll go for score predictions. So guys, pop your score predictions in the chat, and we'll read those out. Who's looking most nervous? Who am I going to ask first? Tyler.
We're on a roll at the moment, and it's hard to see us dropping points. Now we're going away from home, and Derby a tough side to play against, and it's a tough place to go. But we're on such a high at the moment; it's hard to not see that coming to an end. So I'm gonna go 2-0 win, 2-0 away from home, and I'm gonna back. We've had a few new scorers, so I'm gonna back 2 new scorers. I'm gonna go Kelman and Doc.
Oh, I love it, Kelman and Doc. Callum.
A slightly different take. I think actually the 2 wins sort of takes the pressure off a little bit. I think for me, Nathan Jones has such a good record at Pride Park though. So I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go for a repeat of that game on a Tuesday night where we all thought we were going to go get hammered. So I'm going
We've got Karoy Anderson.
Hey, it was the guy on the scarf behind you that changed that game when he came on. But yeah, no, I'll go with the 2-1. You know what? I'm gonna go with a Tyrese Campbell goal just to annoy people in the comments. And I'll go with a Liban goal as well. You know, I don't know why I'm feeling that, but that's what I'll go with.
Cool. And Tom,
I'm gonna go for a 3-1 win.
Oh,
I think
to Derby, yeah.
Back to
No, I have no idea who's going to score from him. Probably Diaz or something. For us, Tanto's going to get his goal. Apter off the bench. And I agree with Liban. I think he'll get ahead or he'll score some belters from outside the box as always. But yeah, 3-1 away, and then we win next week as well.
I'm going to go for a 2-0. I'm going to go for Charlie to break his duck off a Liban knockdown.
Nice.
And Maka Gillespie header.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
That's what
Geordie
I'm
King.
going for.
Goals, and he
Hey?
put him on 9 goals for a year as a centre back. Was madness.
He's a cracking player. I love
Geordie
him.
King, man. He's immense.
What is the song they were singing about him as well?
Oh,
I don't know
It's the best child.
I don't know the first
he
part.
scores at Wembley. He
Yeah.
said effing massive. What's the bit before that?
He drinks Moretti.
Right, okay.
Moretti.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
How does everyone know he drinks Moretti?
I suppose it's
Probably-
wine. I guess that's probably
Probably
why.
Box Park. Probably Box Park after the final.
I love it. He drinks Moretti. Quality.
Yeah, it's the
Right,
best
we
child.
will. We do have some strange songs, don't we? And I love how we've had Tanto has now got the Chuck Zaniki chant.
Yeah.
Can we please retire the Harvey Nibs thing though? Because that is incredibly irritating.
I hate that
Harvey
song.
Nibs.
I hate it.
He likes
Yeah,
it.
to be
Yeah,
fair,
the
we
thing
started
is-
singing it and then Bree took the free kick and Macca scored, so maybe we need to sing it more.
The thing is, Nibs loves it. He doesn't want to get rid of it.
Bristol City away. He was over there
He
popping his head along. He was having a great time.
When they do that shoddy light show before West Brom at home, which we all know
Oh,
they're going to do,
if
can
I-
you please sing
if
that
I
chant
see-
just to ruin it?
If I see a light jar, I'm walking out the stadium.
Wait, so
I've already said I will be in the concession stand, and you know what? They spent enough money that they can have their one night of American glitz and glamour. That's my. I'm going to agree. They can have their one night. I will not be there, so I will not be partaking in the cringe.
Do it once, but never. Do it once, but never,
can't
ever,
be
ever do
worse
it
than
again.
can't be worse than Birmingham when we walk out the flames.
Oh bloody hell, yeah.
Jesus.
Do it for a playoff game, or Sangard playing guitar. Crikey!
Yeah.
That was something.
We'll have
Awesome.
Tom Brady dropping in with like an American football at Birmingham. We could fly Floyd and Harvey in, couldn't we?
Imagine
Right.
Joshua Friedman, Gabriel Brenner doing that.
Oh, God. I don't even know. Right, let's get back to score predictions. So, it's gone well off track. Mark's gone 1-0 Tanto. Michael's gone 2-0 to us. DJ has gone 1-0 Charlton Leeburn. Buddy has gone 1-0 Charlton Lloydie. Riddler's
Alex
gone
the
for a
victory.
3-2 Charlton. Tommy's gone for a 2-1 to us, Kelman and Tanto. Stuart's just said if we win on Tuesday, then we will be on immense momentum roll for Preston.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 massive away games this week, 2 massive ones. Jack has gone for a 1-0 win, hoping for a Kelman goal. However it happens, I just want it to happen. Chris has gone for a 2-0 Tanto and Sonny. Jack has gone for a 2-1 TC and Tanto. Matthew's gone for a 2-0 Kerman. Who's Kerman? Kelman and Kerry. And then he said, brilliant episode, guys. Up the Addicts, up the Chronicles. Thank you very much, Matthew. Tracy has gone for a 2-0 Tanto and Kerry. Jim has said, are we getting the Valley back? That is a question you would have to ask the owners. I do not have that inside info.
Episode 3 of my podcast, I go into it. If anyone's interested, you're welcome.
We'll give you Callum's podcast details at the end, Jim, and you can go and watch Callum's. But thank you for asking. Tracy said, no, Harvey needs I Like It. She loves Harvey Nibs. Don't upset her. Mark said, the only person who likes that song is Nibs himself. Marcus said, Addicts to victory. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Well, Tyler predicted a clean sheet win.
Clean sheet win, yeah. Oh, does anyone remember that song? What a great tune. I had that on my Spotify and all sorts. It's not on there anymore. Addicts to victory.
Oh, God.
Karaoke version of Metallica is what it was.
Oh, God. Lynx this has really gone off track tonight. Lynx has gone for a 3-0. Buddy's actually gone for a 1-1 now. Lloydie and an own goal. What's gone? Boo! And he's asked as Josh has disappeared. Buddy, you're a bit late, mate. Josh doesn't do the podcast anymore. It's in my safe hands. I don't know about safe, but Josh has officially retired from the Charlton Chronicles to take on work life. Now he's an adult, so he's abandoned us. And Nick, they both have, but he's still in the background helping me, a little bit because I'm a bit of a technophobe. Chris has said 2 away games, then a blooming international break. I don't mind that, to be honest. Tommy has said, great show as always. Long may we stay as happy all season. Mark has said, see you Tuesday, guys. And Isaac has asked, where's Paul? Isaac, I don't know if you missed it at the beginning, mate, but Paul is at Wembley seeing Oasis. He did stream a little bit at the start, but then his signal went and he looked like Liam Gallagher in his bucket hat. And Sid and Steve are also at Wembley, so I really hope they're having a great time.
Paul's right at the top as well, by the way.
Yeah, Paul is in the very back row of the upper tier at Wembley, and Liam Gallagher's going to look like an ant. So
it's going to take him about an hour just to get out of the stadium.
Yeah,
oh no. But look, thanks guys. Thanks for joining us as always. Big thanks to Callum for joining us as well. Callum, if you can just hit the guys up with what your podcast is called for us, and guys, go and give Callum a follow.
Yeah, from the Valley Floyd. We're on the path now. We're almost at 50 subs, which is very small, but we're getting there. Come join. We have a so we try to take the temperature down. It's the way that I like to do it. We try to be.
Callum is a great friend of the Charlton Chronicles, and we will try and get him on through the season a little bit more. But do go and check out his podcast, guys. He sits there on his own, bless him, and has a little rant. So it's a good one to.
Paul on the other day, so
Yeah, he had Paul on as well the other day, so there was even more ranting. It was like rant against rant. And I came on and I didn't rant, but. Nice. Callum, thanks for coming on, mate. Always a great guest to have on. Tyler, great to have you back. Tom, great to have you on as always. Don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Instagram, and our TikTok. Our TikTok's absolutely flying at the moment. Tom will upload videos onto there, so go and give that a watch and a follow, guys. It's all
subscribe on here as well, because we're almost at 2K subs.
Amazing, so give us all a like and subscribe if you like watching, guys. Don't forget, if you see any of us at a game, come and say hi, but be kind always. And we will see you Wednesday for our Preston preview show. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
Peace.
All the best.
Okay, guys.